Now, without any further ado, it's time for Mr. Strauss. Enjoy.
Good morning once again, boys and girls and families and staff. Welcome to our next Character Education Assembly. I'm Mr. Stroud. I'm here with our Character Education leader, Mr. Tony. And today, this month, we're going to be talking about self-control. And again, we have a new hero of the month for all of our character traits this year. So you get to see who our new character education hero is for this month, who we feel is a great person that exemplifies and shows exactly what self-control is. Mr. Tony will talk about this person. And by the time we're all done, you'll understand why we chose this person as our hero of the month and why we feel he shows self-control the best. So let's get started on our self-control character education assembly for today by introducing the one, the only, Mr. Tony.
Good to see you all today. I hope you're having a wonderful day, a joyful day. Self-control, character education. We want to start this assembly out with the Esslers. The Esslers, and I'm asking each and every one of you to read along with me out loud so that you can hear it. Expected school-wide learning results. Here we go. Number one, I can create a collaborative and cooperative community. Very good. I can be an outstanding learner and citizen. Outstanding. And I can achieve academic excellence. Tremendous. Every day, work on those. It's what Community Outreach Academy is all about. Repeat after me. I can, I will succeed. Thank you so much. Now let's get on to our character trait for this month, self-control. Self-control is something that each of us from kindergarten through 5th grade need to work on every day. And what I want you to do is get your hand right out in front of you like that and repeat after me. Right where the thumb is, say balance. You got to stay balanced in life. Can't get too high, can't get too low. First finger right there, calmness. Find that calmness inside of you. When things get bad and all of a sudden you start to feel the anger, you start to feel the rage start to build, be calm. Next finger, determination. Always work forward. Don't let all of these different kinds of stress cause us to change our focus. Be determined. Next, show confidence. Show confidence in what you do. Believe in what you do. Trust what you do. And last, down there, willpower. Be strong in mind. That's what self-control is all about. Self-control. No matter whether you're playing a game, working on a project in class, doing something at home with your brothers and sisters, your mom and dad, your aunts and uncles, your grandparents, or wherever you are, your classmates, your teammates, show self-control and help others to have self-control. Balance, calmness, determination, confidence, willpower. Under control at all times. Good character for kids says that self-control, a fool gives vent to his anger, but a wise man keeps himself under control. A fool gives vent to his anger, to his rage, but a wise man keeps himself under control. And each and every one of us at times will have issues, things that happen in our life that create an anger, that create a rage. But I don't want to be a fool. I want to be a wise man. I want to keep myself under control. Self-control. Self-control. Master what you do. If you learn self-control, you can master absolutely anything. I have played lots of different kinds of sports, and I have found over the years that I can master what I'm doing in being a part of a team, in a sport, in the classroom, at work, with my family, in life, if I just stay under control. And those moments in which I lose my self-control, I know I've done it. No one has to tell me. I know I was the one who did that. I need to apologize, ask for forgiveness, stand up, and be the kind of person you want to see in others. Be a role model. Show your self-control, apologize, and move on. Learn from that. Move on. The ultimate self-control. I want to tell you right now, that dog wants that bone so bad. But he loves his master. He loves himself. He loves the life he lives. And so he's going to let that bone stay right there on his nose when he could just chomp on it if he wanted it. Take care of himself? No. He's going to go beyond himself. He's going to take care of others. He's going to show self-control in helping to build a better culture, a better world. And when that master says, okay, get that bone, you're going to go right at it. He's going to get that treat. Because in life, we always will reach our highest level of being the best person we can be, and we will get those treats in life. We need to show self-control in the process. I love that dog. Using self-control. Stop and take a breath and count to 5. Can you do that when you get angry in the classroom? Again, whether you're in kindergarten or 5th grade, stop, take a deep breath, and count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Decide what the problem is and how you feel about it. Think about your choices and the consequences. If I reach out and hurt somebody, or I show anger, I'm going to have consequences happen because of that. My teacher, the principal, my parents are all going to be involved in that. And I don't want that to happen. And is that so important in this situation? Decide on your best choice and do it. If you don't like the way things are going, then change them. Change your attitude. Stop, take a breath, think, decide what the problem is, think about your choices and the consequences, and then decide on your best choice and how to do that. Role model for this month, hero of the month, is Jackie Robinson. Couldn't be a better role model for self-control because, you know, he was the first person of color, the first African-American to play in the major leagues. He was 1947. He was in his late 20s, and they looked at all of the baseball players that were out there that were black. And they chose Jackie, not because he was the greatest player ever to play the game, not because he hit better than anybody else, not because he threw or played better defense than anybody else. He did all of those things really, really well. But it was the character and the self-control of the individual, because Branch Rickey, the general manager of those Brooklyn Dodgers, came to Jackie and he said, for 2 years, can you not fight back? And Jackie said to Branch, Mr. Rickey, do you want a person of character or do you want a coward? And Branch Rickey said, I want a man who's willing not to fight back for every other player who will ever come to the major leagues. Listen to this story of number 42. who is retired in every ballpark in the United States of America, who on one day each year, April 15th, every ball player wears his number, number 42. A man of character and of self-control, Jackie Robinson.
Born January 31st, 1919, in Cairo, Georgia, Jack Roosevelt Robinson was the youngest of 5 siblings. He followed his older brother Mac into athletics.
Mac went off and he competed in the 1936 Olympics. This is an athlete who had won a medal under the eye of Adolf Hitler. He came back to Pasadena, and Mac Robinson could only find work as a garbage man. That's something that Jackie Robinson never forget.
Robinson was a star athlete at Pasadena Junior College and became the first UCLA student to win varsity letters in 4 sports: basketball, football, track, and baseball.
He was a local tennis champion. He was a local football stud. He was a great track star. For Jackie Robinson, baseball was really almost the last thing he was great at. He was great at everything. He could have done anything.
While in the Army, Robinson was arrested for refusing to move to the back of a segregated bus. Robinson fought a court-martial and was eventually given an honorable discharge.
Jackie Robinson was sick and tired of the U.S. Army, and the U.S. Army felt that they had a problem on their hands with Lieutenant Robinson, so they agreed that he would be honorably discharged.
With the Negro Leagues as his only opportunity to play professional baseball, Robinson joined the Kansas City Monarchs in 1945. That same year, he was given a life-changing invitation by Branch Rickey of the Brooklyn Dodgers.
There were players in the Negro League that were just as good, if not better, than Jackie Robinson. But Branch Rickey understood that he needed more than just a superb baseball player. He needed someone who had flawless and impeccable character, and he found that person in Jackie Robinson.
Despite harsh opposition, Robinson was selected as the first Rookie of the Year, became the first man in the league in 26 years to steal his way around the bases, and in 1955, he helped the Brooklyn Dodgers win the World Series against the New York Yankees.
The valor with which Jackie Robinson responded to the jeers and the hatred and the bigoted remarks and the catcalls is one of the great silent portraits in American history. Under that hail of threats and epithets, he would walk into the batter's box. And you know, about a little over the third of the time, because I believe he batted a 330-something that year, he'd get a hit. That's what he did. He certainly didn't cower. He certainly didn't flinch, and there were a lot of beanballs thrown at him.
Jackie Robinson wasn't just a great symbol, he was a great baseball player. He led the Brooklyn Dodgers to 6 pennants when he was there. This is a Brooklyn Dodger team that was called the Bums, because they couldn't win. Jackie Robinson led them, and part of it was his fire. His fire kept them going.
Shortly after being traded to the New York Giants, Robinson retired from baseball in 1957 and became a business executive.
After Jackie Robinson left baseball, his fight wasn't over. I mean, he continued to fight for civil rights. He was a member of the NAACP's upper management, campaigned for them, campaigned with Dr. King to try and integrate a lot of America. Also, opened up a bank in Harlem. I mean, this was a guy who this meant more to him than just his legacy as a baseball player.
He was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1962 and later died from a heart attack on October 24, 1972. In 2005, Jackie Robinson was honored with the Congressional Gold Medal.
The story of Jackie Robinson changed the literal complexion of the game. It changed the complexion of images that we saw in black and white photos in newspapers and on television. It put a black man at the center of the story of America. And I think we've been an imperfect but infinitely better society ever since.
What a great story. What a great man. I think the only sadness I have over that story is that we lost Jackie way too young. He passed away in his 50s. And he aged so much from the stress that he had from that self-control. But he changed America, and he changed it by playing a baseball game. Jackie Robinson. He said about self-control, Jackie did, I don't let my mouth say nothing my head can't stand. My mother told me those words many, many, many years ago. Don't say something you don't believe. Don't hurt others. If you believe it, then say it. Jackie lived a life that way. He believed that every American, every person on this earth had a responsibility to leave this planet better than it was when they came here. If you can't change in a positive way the lives of the people around you, then you're wasting a life. Self-control. Jackie Roosevelt Robinson.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that wraps up our character education for this month on self-control. Now, what we want you to do is we want you to take in some of those ideas that Mr. Tony gave you. We want you to kind of listen to that story of Jackie Robinson. If you need to, go back and listen to it again. It's a great story. This man had so much self-control, but the problem was he didn't have it all the time. He would have to go into the tunnels or go under the stadium to vent some of the anger and stuff that built up inside him so he could come back out onto the field and take more of it. But because he did that, he opened the door for what we see as baseball today. Multicultural. He was the first person to do it. And because he was the first person to do it, and he didn't fight back, and he didn't say things that would cause more problems, we now have a game that is shared all around the world. So take all those things about self-control, practice them. It's one of the hardest character traits that we have. And you'll be working on this your whole life. I still work on it. I know Mr. Tony still works on it. Your teachers still work on it. Our principals still work. Everybody still works on it. Because there are things that are going to happen to you your whole life that are going to instantly make you upset and angry. You got to think before you act. Anyway, you guys have a fantastic day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And then we'll see you next month for our next Character Education Assembly.